Welcome to Sleep Easy, where we guide you on a journey of calm and peace to help you drift into a restful sleep. I am the host of Sleep Easy, and I appreciate you choosing to spend this time with us. Tonight, we have a bedtime story for you titled Echoes of Serenity. The story follows Emma, who works in her family's bookstore and discovers an ancient manuscript about a secret garden. She embarks on a journey with historian Lucas to uncover the secrets of the garden with the help of a mysterious old woman. Before we dive into the story, let's take a few moments to release any lingering tension in our bodies and minds. Find a comfortable position, and with each breath, allow yourself to relax more deeply. Now, let's merge the gentle rhythm of your breathing with the enchanting tale of Echoes of Serenity. Let yourself be transported to a world of fairy tales and magic, where worries dissolve and dreams take flight. The sun was setting over the quaint town of Fairbrook, casting a golden glow over its cobblestone streets and charming Victorian houses. Emma Stewart, a young woman with a penchant for mystery and fantasy, stood in front of timeless tomes, the bookstore her family had owned for generations. The store's sign, weathered but sturdy, creaked gently in the evening breeze. As she locked the front door and turned the sign to closed, Emma felt a strange sense of anticipation. Something was different about tonight. She couldn't quite place it, but the air seemed charged with a quiet, unseen energy. Shrugging off the feeling, she made her way back inside, planning to spend the evening organizing some newly acquired old books. Inside the store, the familiar scent of aged paper and leather-bound volumes greeted her. Shelves crammed with books of every kind lined the walls, creating a maze of literary wonder. Emma walked to the back of the store, where a stack of books awaited her attention. Among them was a particularly old manuscript, its cover adorned with a faded golden emblem resembling a phoenix. Curiosity piqued, Emma carefully picked up the manuscript. It was thicker than she expected and bound in worn, dark leather. She carried it to a cozy reading nook by the window, where the last rays of sunlight streamed in, casting a warm glow on the pages. As she opened the manuscript, a soft, almost imperceptible breeze seemed to stir the air around her. The first page contained an elaborate illustration of a forest bathed in moonlight, with a path leading deeper into the shadows. Below the illustration was an inscription in elegant, flowing script: "To those who seek the hidden truths, follow the whispers of the night." Emma felt a shiver run down her spine. The words seemed to resonate within her, as if they were speaking directly to her. She turned the page, revealing the beginning of an ancient legend. It spoke of a mystical guardian who protected a hidden garden, a place of peace and magic that could only be found by those with pure hearts. The story was captivating, and Emma found herself drawn deeper into the narrative with each passing sentence. As she read, the light outside faded completely, and the store was enveloped in a soft glow of lamplight. Emma was so engrossed in the manuscript that she didn't notice the time slipping by. Suddenly, a rustling sound from behind her made her jump. She turned quickly but saw nothing unusual, just the rows of bookshelves and the soft flickering of the lamps. Shaking off her unease, she returned to the manuscript. The next section described a series of dreams that guided the protagonist to the hidden garden. Emma's eyes widened as she read. The dreams were eerily similar to the ones she had been having recently. Forests bathed in moonlight, glowing paths, and shadowy figures that seemed to beckon her forward. Lost in thought, she barely registered the soft chime of the store's bell. Emma looked up, expecting to see a late customer, but the store was empty. Puzzled, she stood and walked to the front, peering out the window into the deserted street. The night was still, with only the occasional rustle of leaves in the breeze. As she turned back, something caught her eye. On the counter by the register lay a small, folded piece of parchment. She was certain it hadn't been there earlier. Emma approached it cautiously, her heart pounding in her chest. She picked up the parchment and unfolded it, revealing a short message written in the same elegant script as the manuscript. The journey begins when the seeker is ready. Emma's mind raced. Who could have left this message? How did they know about her discovery of the manuscript? She glanced around the empty store, feeling a mixture of excitement and apprehension. It was as if the legends from the book were beginning to seep into her reality. Determined to uncover the truth, Emma decided to follow the clues. She packed the manuscript and the mysterious note into her bag, locked up the store, and headed home. As she walked through the quiet streets of Fairbrook, the words from the note echoed in her mind. The journey begins when the seeker is ready. Emma knew she was ready. This was the beginning of an adventure she had always longed for, an adventure that would lead her to the heart of the mysteries she had only ever read about. Little did she know, the unseen messenger had already set her on a path that would change her life forever. The moon hung high over Fairbrook, casting a silvery light across the sleepy town. Emma Stewart, with the ancient manuscript safely tucked in her bag, walked briskly through the quiet streets toward her home. The night air was cool and filled with the scent of blooming jasmine. Her mind buzzed with the possibilities hinted at by the mysterious note she had found. When she reached her small, cozy house on the outskirts of town, Emma unlocked the door and stepped inside. The familiarity of her living room, with its overstuffed armchair and shelves of books, brought her a momentary sense of calm. She placed her bag on the table and pulled out the manuscript and the note, laying them side by side. Emma couldn't shake the feeling that her life was about to change. The manuscript's legend and the strange message seemed to beckon her towards something extraordinary. She made herself a cup of chamomile tea and settled into her armchair, determined to delve deeper into the manuscript. As she opened the ancient pages, a soft whisper seemed to float through the room. Emma looked up, startled, but saw nothing out of the ordinary. The whisper faded, leaving behind an unsettling silence. She shook her head, dismissing it as a figment of her imagination, and returned to her reading. The next chapter of the manuscript described the protagonist's journey into a mystical forest, guided by whispers in the night. Emma's eyes widened as she read about the protagonist hearing soft voices that led them to the hidden path. The parallels to her own experience were uncanny. She continued reading, absorbed by the detailed descriptions of the forest and the guardian who watched over it. The guardian was depicted as a shadowy figure, both protective and enigmatic. Emma felt a growing connection to the story, as if it were speaking directly to her. As the hours passed, the words on the pages seemed to blur, and Emma's eyelids grew heavy. She fought to stay awake, but the pull of sleep was too strong. She placed the manuscript on the side table and closed her eyes, drifting into a deep slumber. In her dream, Emma found herself standing at the edge of a dense forest, bathed in the soft glow of the moonlight. The trees towered above her, their leaves rustling in the gentle breeze. Ahead of her, a narrow path wound its way into the heart of the forest. She took a step forward, feeling an inexplicable urge to follow the path. As she walked, the whispers returned, more distinct this time. They seemed to be guiding her, urging her deeper into the forest. Emma followed the whispers, her footsteps light and sure. The path led her to a clearing where a shimmering pool of water reflected the moonlight. At the edge of the pool stood a figure cloaked in shadows. "Who are you?" Emma asked, her voice echoing in the stillness of the night. The figure remained silent, but the whispers grew louder, forming coherent words in her mind. "The journey begins when the seeker is ready," they repeated. Emma felt a surge of determination and stepped closer to the figure, but before she could reach it, the dream dissolved, and she woke up with a start. Emma sat up in her armchair, her heart pounding. The room was still and quiet, the manuscript lying where she had left it. The dream had felt so real, as if she had truly been in that mystical forest. She glanced at the clock, it was just past midnight. Determined to make sense of it all, Emma grabbed a notebook and began jotting down the details of her dream. The whispers, the path, the shadowy figure, all of it seemed significant. She realized that the message from the note and the whispers in her dream were not just coincidences. They were guiding her towards something important. The next morning, Emma awoke with a sense of purpose. She decided to visit the local library to research the legends mentioned in the manuscript. Maybe there, she could find more clues about the guardian and the enchanted garden. As she prepared to leave, a soft knock at her door startled her. Emma opened it to find Lucas, the young historian she had met during her previous research on local folklore. His eyes were bright with excitement, and he held a book in his hand. "Emma, you won't believe what I found," Lucas said, his voice barely containing his enthusiasm. "I think I have a lead on the legend of the hidden garden." Emma's heart skipped a beat. "Come in," she said, stepping aside to let him enter. "You have to see this." As Lucas entered, Emma showed him the manuscript and the mysterious note. Lucas's eyes widened as he examined them. "This is incredible," he said. It matches the descriptions I've read about the enchanted garden. We need to investigate this further. Together, they pored over the manuscript, comparing notes and piecing together the fragments of the legend. The whispers in the night, the hidden path, and the guardian, all of it seemed to point them toward a journey that was both ancient and deeply personal. As they delved deeper, Emma felt a growing sense of connection to the story. She knew that this was just the beginning of an adventure that would take them beyond the boundaries of their everyday lives. The whispers had called her, and now, with Lucas by her side, she was ready to follow them into the unknown. The morning sun filtered through the lace curtains of Emma's cozy kitchen, casting delicate patterns on the wooden table where she and Lucas sat, surrounded by stacks of books and notes. The scent of freshly brewed coffee filled the air, mingling with the faint aroma of aged paper. Lucas flipped through his book, eyes scanning the pages eagerly, while Emma reread the manuscript, hoping to uncover any details they might have missed. "We need to find this forest," Lucas said, breaking the comfortable silence. "Everything in the manuscript points to it as the starting place for our journey." Emma nodded, her finger tracing the intricate illustrations in the manuscript. "There's something about these drawings," she murmured. "They feel familiar, like I've seen them before." Lucas looked up, curiosity piqued. "Where do you think that could be?" Emma stood and walked to a bookshelf filled with old family photo albums and diaries. She pulled out a thick, leather-bound volume, dusting it off before opening it on the table. "My grandmother used to tell me stories about a magical garden she claimed to have visited when she was young. She said it was hidden deep in the forest near Fairbrook." Lucas leaned in, examining the faded photographs and handwritten notes. "Do you think she found the enchanted garden?" "I don't know," Emma admitted. "But it's worth investigating." With renewed determination, they packed their bags with essentials, maps, notebooks, water, and the manuscript. They left Emma's house and walked through the town, their excitement bubbling beneath the surface. Fairbrook was waking up, with shopkeepers opening their stores and children heading to school, oblivious to the adventure about to unfold. As they reached the edge of town, the forest loomed ahead, its dense canopy casting a cool, inviting shadow. Emma and Lucas exchanged a glance, a silent agreement passing between them. This was the beginning of their journey. They entered the forest, following a narrow, winding path that seemed to beckon them deeper into the woods. The air grew cooler and the sounds of the town faded away, replaced by the rustling of leaves and the distant calls of birds. Emma felt a strange sense of familiarity, as if she had walked this path before, guided by the whispers in her dreams. Hours passed as they trekked through the forest, their conversations drifting between the legend and their own lives. Lucas shared stories of his research into lost civilizations, while Emma recounted the tales her grandmother had told her. They felt a growing bond, united by their shared quest. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting long shadows across their path, they came upon a small, hidden clearing. In the center stood a wrought iron gate, intricately designed with floral patterns and overgrown with ivy. It looked ancient, yet untouched by time. "This must be it," Lucas whispered, awe in his voice. "The entrance to the enchanted garden." Emma pushed the gate gently, and it creaked open, revealing a pathway lined with luminous flowers that glowed softly in the twilight. They stepped through, feeling as if they had crossed a threshold into another world. The garden was breathtaking. Vibrant flowers in every color imaginable bloomed alongside crystal-clear streams and ancient trees that seemed to whisper secrets. The air was filled with the sweet fragrance of blossoms, and the gentle hum of nature created a symphony of tranquility. Emma and Lucas wandered through the garden, marveling at its beauty. They came upon a central fountain, its waters sparkling with an ethereal light. Emma approached it, feeling a deep sense of peace wash over her. The fountain's water seemed to call to her, its surface shimmering with a magical energy. Lucas knelt beside the fountain, dipping his fingers into the water. "It feels alive," he said, his voice filled with wonder. "Like it's speaking to us." Emma followed suit, touching the water and feeling a connection to the garden, the legend, and the guardian who watched over it. She closed her eyes, letting the sensations wash over her. The whispers returned, clearer than ever, guiding her thoughts. "The guardian is here," she said softly, opening her eyes to meet Lucas's gaze. "Watching over us, waiting to reveal the secrets of this place." As they stood by the fountain, a shadowy figure emerged from the trees, its form ethereal and shimmering in the garden's light. The guardian, cloaked in mystery, approached them, its presence both comforting and awe-inspiring. "Welcome, seekers," the guardian's voice echoed, a harmonious blend of male and female tones. "You have proven your worth by finding this place. Now, your true journey begins." Emma and Lucas felt a surge of excitement and anticipation. They had found the enchanted garden, but this was only the beginning. The guardian held the answers to the mysteries they sought, and with its guidance, they would uncover the ancient secrets that had been hidden for centuries. "Come," the guardian beckoned, leading them deeper into the garden. "There is much to learn and many trials to face. But fear not, for you are ready." With hearts full of determination, Emma and Lucas followed the guardian, ready to embrace the adventure that awaited them. They knew that their journey would not be easy, but together, they would uncover the truth and find the serenity they had always longed for. The sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with hues of orange and pink, as Emma and Lucas followed the guardian deeper into the enchanted garden. The air grew cooler, and the first stars began to twinkle in the twilight. The guardian moved gracefully ahead of them, a spectral figure whose presence filled them with a mixture of awe and reassurance. They arrived at a secluded glade where the canopy opened up, revealing a sky dotted with stars. The moon, full and luminous, cast a silvery glow over the garden, transforming it into a dreamlike landscape. The guardian paused at the center of the glade, turning to face Emma and Lucas. "This place, the guardian said in a melodic voice, is where the boundary between the physical and the spiritual thins. Here, under the moonlit sky, you will begin to understand the true nature of the enchanted garden and your purpose within it. Emma and Lucas exchanged a glance, their curiosity and anticipation mirrored in each other's eyes. They stepped closer to the guardian, eager to learn more. The garden is not just a place, the guardian continued, but a living entity, connected to the essence of all who enter it. It reflects the seeker's heart and spirit. Tonight, beneath the moonlight, you will experience a vision that will guide you on your journey. As the guardian spoke, a gentle breeze rustled through the trees, carrying with it the sweet fragrance of night-blooming flowers. The ground beneath their feet shimmered with a soft, otherworldly light, and the air seemed to hum with energy. Emma felt a tingling sensation spread through her body, as if the garden itself was awakening her senses. The guardian raised its hands, and the shimmering light intensified, swirling around Emma and Lucas in a delicate dance. "Close your eyes," the guardian instructed. "Let the garden speak to you." Emma and Lucas obeyed, closing their eyes and allowing themselves to be enveloped by the garden's magic. The hum grew louder, resonating within their very beings. Emma felt as if she were floating, weightless and free. Images began to form in her mind, vivid and clear. She saw herself standing in the center of the garden, bathed in moonlight. Around her, flowers bloomed and wilted in a continuous cycle, representing the passage of time. The whispers she had heard before returned, but now they were coherent, forming words and phrases that she could understand. "Seek the past to understand the future," the whispers said. "Your journey is one of discovery and transformation. Trust in the path before you." The vision shifted, and Emma saw Lucas beside her, his expression mirroring her own wonder and determination. Together, they faced a series of trials, each one designed to test their resolve and strength. She saw them uncovering ancient artifacts, deciphering forgotten languages, and unlocking the secrets of the enchanted garden. The final image was of a radiant light emanating from the heart of the garden, a beacon of hope and serenity. Emma felt drawn to it, knowing that this light was the key to their quest. As the vision faded, Emma opened her eyes, the whispers still echoing in her mind. She turned to Lucas, who looked equally awestruck. "I saw it too," Lucas said softly. "The trials, the artifacts, and that light, it's like the garden is showing us the way." The guardian lowered its hands, the shimmering light dissipating into the night. "The visions you experienced are the garden's gift," it said. "They reveal your path and the challenges you must face. Remember, the journey is not just physical but spiritual. You must look within yourselves to find the answers you seek." Emma and Lucas nodded, absorbing the guardian's words. They felt a renewed sense of purpose and unity, ready to embrace the challenges ahead. "The first trial awaits," the guardian said, gesturing to a narrow path that led deeper into the garden. "Follow the path, and you will find what you need." With a final nod of gratitude to the guardian, Emma and Lucas set off down the path. The moonlight guided their way, casting long shadows and illuminating the flora with a ghostly glow. The air was filled with the sounds of nocturnal creatures, creating a symphony that accompanied their footsteps. As they walked, Emma couldn't help but feel a deep connection to the garden and its mysteries. She knew that this journey would test them in ways they couldn't yet imagine, but she also felt a growing confidence in their ability to face whatever lay ahead. Lucas broke the silence, his voice thoughtful. The vision showed us working together, overcoming obstacles. I think that's the key, to trust each other and the garden's guidance. Emma smiled, appreciating his insight. We're in this together, Lucas. Whatever we face, we'll face it as a team. They continued down the path, their spirits buoyed by the guardian's words and the visions they had seen. The enchanted garden seemed to come alive around them, responding to their determination and resolve. Each step brought them closer to the heart of the garden and the light that awaited them. Under the moonlit sky, Emma and Lucas moved forward, ready to unlock the secrets of the enchanted garden and discover the truth of their journey. They knew that the path would be challenging, but with each other's support and the garden's guidance, they were prepared to face whatever trials lay ahead. The moonlit path wound deeper into the enchanted garden, its silvery light casting an ethereal glow over the landscape. Emma and Lucas walked in silence, their senses attuned to the garden's whispers and the soft rustling of leaves. The guardian's words echoed in their minds, urging them to trust in each other and the journey. As they ventured further, the air grew cooler, and the sounds of the forest became more subdued. The path led them to a clearing surrounded by ancient trees, their gnarled branches intertwining to form a natural archway. Beyond the archway, the light seemed to shift and shimmer, as if reality itself were bending. Emma hesitated, feeling a strange mix of anticipation and apprehension. "This feels different," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "Like we're stepping into another realm." Lucas nodded, his eyes scanning the surroundings. "The guardian said we would face trials. Maybe this is the first one." Taking a deep breath, Emma stepped through the archway, Lucas following close behind. As they crossed the threshold, the air around them seemed to hum with energy. The garden's vibrant colors faded into a palette of muted grays and blues, creating an eerie, dreamlike atmosphere. They found themselves standing in what appeared to be an ancient village, long abandoned and overgrown with vines and moss. Crumbling stone buildings and empty streets spoke of a once thriving community now lost to time. A sense of melancholy hung heavy in the air, and the whispers of the garden became clearer, weaving stories of the past. Emma and Lucas walked through the village, their footsteps echoing in the stillness. They approached a central square where a large, weathered statue stood. The statue depicted a figure cloaked in flowing robes, holding a book in one hand and a staff in the other. Its face, though worn by time, radiated wisdom and authority. "This must be the village elder," Lucas said, examining the statue. I wonder what happened here. Emma's eyes were drawn to the base of the statue, where an inscription was barely visible beneath layers of dirt and moss. She knelt and carefully brushed away the debris, revealing the words, "In memory of Eldarion, keeper of knowledge, who protected our secrets and guided our hearts." As Emma read the inscription, a vision began to form in her mind. She saw the village as it once was, vibrant and full of life. Eldarion, the village elder, stood at the center, surrounded by villagers seeking his wisdom. The enchanted garden flourished around them, its magic intertwined with their daily lives. But the vision darkened, and Emma witnessed the village's downfall. Shadows crept into the garden, corrupting its magic and bringing chaos. Eldarion fought to protect the village, using his knowledge and the power of the garden, but in the end, he could not prevent its destruction. The villagers fled, and the once thriving community fell into ruin. Emma gasped as the vision faded, leaving her with a profound sense of loss. "The village was destroyed," she said, her voice trembling. "Something corrupted the garden's magic and brought darkness." Lucas placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "We need to find out what caused the corruption. Maybe that's the key to restoring the garden and completing our journey." They continued exploring the village, searching for clues that might explain the shadows of the past. As they entered what appeared to be an old library, the whispers grew louder, guiding them to a hidden alcove. There, among the dust-covered shelves, they discovered an ancient tome bound in dark leather. Emma carefully opened the tome, revealing pages filled with intricate illustrations and cryptic writings. The language was unfamiliar, but the images depicted scenes of the village's history, the rise of the enchanted garden, and its eventual fall. At the center of the tome, they found a detailed map of the garden, marked with various symbols and annotations. "This map could lead us to the source of the corruption," Lucas said, tracing the symbols with his finger. "Look, there's a marked path that leads to a place called the Heart of Shadows." Emma studied the map, feeling a sense of urgency. "If we can reach the Heart of Shadows, we might be able to understand what went wrong and how to fix it." With the tome and map in hand, they left the library and made their way back to the clearing. The ancient trees loomed overhead, their branches casting long, shadowy fingers across the path. The garden seemed to respond to their resolve, the whispers guiding them toward their next destination. As they walked, the landscape around them began to change. The vibrant flora of the enchanted garden gave way to twisted, darkened vegetation. The air grew colder, and a sense of foreboding settled over them. They were entering a part of the garden that had been tainted by the shadows of the past. "Stay close," Emma said, her voice steady but filled with determination. "We need to face this together." Lucas nodded, his resolve matching hers. "Whatever happens, we'll find the truth and restore the garden." Together, they pressed on, following the map's path toward the Heart of Shadows. The journey was fraught with challenges, but they drew strength from each other and the knowledge that they were not alone. The garden's whispers guided them, a constant reminder of the ancient magic that still lingered, waiting to be reclaimed. As they approached their destination, the moonlight broke through the darkened canopy, casting a silver light on their path. Emma and Lucas knew that the shadows of the past held the key to their future. Beneath the moonlit sky, they were ready to face whatever trials lay ahead and unlock the secrets of the enchanted garden. The Heart of Shadows loomed ahead, a foreboding destination that seemed to pulse with dark energy. Emma and Lucas felt the weight of history and the promise of discovery pressing upon them as they navigated the twisted, darkened vegetation. The ancient map they had found guided their steps, its cryptic symbols now a beacon leading them deeper into the garden's shadowy depths. The whispers of the garden, once a gentle murmur, now carried an urgent tone, as if urging them to hurry. The air was thick with anticipation, and the landscape around them seemed to warp and shift, reflecting the corruption that had taken hold. Emma glanced at Lucas, drawing strength from his presence. "We're getting close. I can feel it." Lucas nodded, his eyes focused on the path ahead. "Stay vigilant. The map suggests there's a hidden path here that leads to the Heart of Shadows." They reached a clearing where the trees formed a natural barrier, their branches intertwined in an impenetrable weave. The ground was littered with fallen leaves and tangled roots, creating an almost labyrinthine obstacle. Emma studied the map, tracing her finger over the symbols that indicated a hidden entrance. "There," she said, pointing to a cluster of ancient stones partially obscured by foliage. "The entrance should be somewhere around those stones." Together, they approached the stones, carefully pushing aside the dense undergrowth. The stones were covered in moss and vines, their surfaces etched with faded runes. Emma knelt to examine them more closely, her fingers brushing over the carvings. "These runes, they're similar to the ones in the tome," she observed. "They might be a key to finding the hidden path." Lucas joined her, studying the runes. "Maybe we need to activate them somehow." The tome mentioned something about the power of intention and the connection between the seeker and the garden. Emma closed her eyes, focusing on the connection she felt with the garden. She let her mind reach out, embracing the whispers and the ancient magic that permeated the air. Slowly, she felt a response, a gentle pulse of energy resonating with her thoughts. "Focus on the runes," she said to Lucas. "Think about the garden and our journey. Let the magic guide you." Lucas nodded, closing his eyes and concentrating. The runes began to glow faintly, responding to their combined efforts. The stones shifted, revealing a narrow, hidden pathway that descended into the earth. "Look," Lucas said, his voice filled with wonder. "We did it." Emma felt a surge of excitement and relief. "Let's go. The Heart of Shadows awaits." They descended the hidden path, the air growing cooler and the light dimmer with each step. The walls of the tunnel were lined with more runes, their glow illuminating the way. The whispers became clearer, guiding them deeper into the heart of the garden's mystery. The path eventually opened into a vast cavern, its ceiling high above and studded with glowing crystals that cast an eerie light. In the center of the cavern stood a massive tree, its bark dark and twisted, its roots spreading out like tendrils. At the base of the tree, a pool of inky black water reflected the dim light, its surface unnaturally still. "This must be the heart of shadows," Emma whispered, her voice echoing in the cavern. Lucas approached the pool, his eyes fixed on the dark water. "This place feels ancient. Like it's been here since the beginning of time." Emma joined him, peering into the pool. "The visions showed us that the corruption started here. We need to understand what happened." As they stood by the pool, the whispers grew louder, coalescing into coherent words. "The darkness that fell upon the garden was born of fear and greed," the voices said. "Only by facing the shadows within can the garden be healed." Emma and Lucas exchanged a determined glance. "We have to confront whatever caused this corruption," Lucas said. "Not just in the garden, but within ourselves." They knelt by the pool, their reflections distorted in the dark water. Emma felt a pull, as if the pool was drawing her in, inviting her to face her own fears and doubts. She took a deep breath, ready to accept the challenge. Closing her eyes, Emma let herself be enveloped by the pool's dark energy. She felt a rush of emotions, fear, sorrow, anger, surging through her. Memories of past failures and regrets surfaced, but she faced them head-on, acknowledging them and letting them go. She felt the darkness begin to recede, replaced by a growing light. Lucas experienced a similar journey, confronting his own shadows and finding strength in his resolve. Together, they emerged from the pool, their spirits cleansed and their connection to the garden strengthened. The cavern seemed to respond to their transformation. The twisted tree began to shift, its bark lightening and its branches straightening. The pool's dark water cleared, revealing a crystal-clear depth that sparkled in the light of the crystals above. "The garden is healing," Emma said, her voice filled with awe. Lucas nodded, a smile spreading across his face. "We did it. But our journey isn't over yet. We need to continue following the map and uncovering the secrets of the garden." With renewed determination, they left the cavern, the hidden path guiding them back to the surface. The garden around them seemed to glow with a newfound vitality, the darkness receding and the vibrant colors returning. As they stepped back into the moonlit glade, the guardian appeared before them, its form more radiant than before. "You have faced the shadows within and begun the healing process," it said. "Your journey will continue to test you, but you have proven your worth. Trust in yourselves and in each other." Emma and Lucas bowed their heads in gratitude. "Thank you," Emma said. "We're ready for whatever comes next." The guardian nodded, its figure shimmering in the moonlight. "Follow the light of the moon. It will guide you to the next part of your journey." With the moon as their guide, Emma and Lucas set off once more, ready to face the challenges ahead. The hidden path had revealed not only the secrets of the past, but also the strength within themselves. Together, they would continue their quest to restore the enchanted garden and uncover the ultimate truth of their journey. The moonlight guided Emma and Lucas through the enchanted garden, its silvery beams illuminating the path ahead. The air was crisp, carrying the scent of blooming flowers and the soft hum of nocturnal creatures. With each step, they felt a growing sense of purpose, the garden's magic infusing them with strength and determination. The map they had discovered in the ancient village remained their constant companion, its intricate symbols and annotations leading them towards their next destination. The guardian's words echoed in their minds, "Follow the light of the moon. It will guide you to the next part of your journey." As they walked, the landscape around them began to change. The dense, twisted vegetation of the corrupted area gave way to a more serene and harmonious environment. The trees stood tall and proud, their leaves shimmering in the moonlight. Flowers of every color imaginable carpeted the ground, creating a breathtaking tapestry of natural beauty. After several hours of walking, they arrived at a large, open meadow. At its center stood a stone circle, ancient and weathered, with intricate carvings that glowed faintly in the moonlight. The stones formed a perfect circle, and in the center, a single, massive stone stood taller than the rest, its surface smooth and polished. Emma and Lucas approached the stone circle, their hearts pounding with anticipation. They knew instinctively that this place held great significance, a pivotal point in their journey. "This must be the meeting place," Lucas said, his voice filled with awe. "The stone circle, it feels ancient, like it's been here for centuries." Emma nodded, her eyes tracing the carvings on the stones. The guardian said to trust in the moonlight. "I think we're meant to wait here." As they stood within the stone circle, the moon reached its zenith, casting a brilliant light over the meadow. The carvings on the stones began to glow more intensely, and a soft, melodic hum filled the air. Emma and Lucas felt a powerful energy surrounding them, as if the very fabric of reality were shifting. Suddenly, a figure appeared at the edge of the meadow, walking slowly towards the stone circle. It was cloaked in a flowing robe that shimmered like starlight, and its face was obscured by a hood. The figure moved with a graceful, almost ethereal presence, and as it approached, Emma and Lucas felt a deep sense of reverence and awe. The figure stopped at the edge of the stone circle, lowering its hood to reveal a serene, ageless face. Its eyes were a piercing blue, filled with wisdom and compassion. The guardian had told them to expect trials and encounters, but this figure seemed different, like a manifestation of the garden's will itself. "Welcome, seekers," the figure said, its voice a harmonious blend of male and female tones. "You have come far and faced many challenges. Now, you stand at the threshold of destiny." Emma and Lucas exchanged a glance, their hearts racing. "Who are you?" Emma asked, her voice steady but filled with curiosity. "I am known as Eloria," the figure replied. "I am a guardian of the enchanted garden, a keeper of its ancient secrets." You have been chosen to restore balance and uncover the truth that has been hidden for centuries. Lucas stepped forward, his eyes filled with determination. We've come to understand the corruption and heal the garden. But we need your guidance. How do we proceed? Eloria smiled, a gentle, knowing expression. You have already taken the first steps by facing the shadows within yourselves. The next part of your journey will require courage and wisdom. You must seek the well of memories, a place where the past and present converge. There, you will find the answers you seek. The well of memories, Emma repeated, feeling a sense of recognition. How do we find it? Eloria raised a hand, and the air around them shimmered. A delicate, glowing map appeared, hovering in the air. It depicted the enchanted garden in intricate detail, with a clear path leading to a secluded grove marked by a symbol of flowing water. Follow this path, Eloria instructed. The well of memories is hidden deep within the grove. But be warned, the journey will not be easy. You will face trials that test your resolve and your bond. Only by working together can you succeed. Emma and Lucas nodded, accepting the challenge. We're ready, Lucas said firmly. We'll find the well of memories and uncover the truth. Eloria's eyes shone with approval. Remember, the garden is with you. Trust in its magic and in each other. Your destiny is intertwined with the fate of the garden. Go now, and may the light guide you. With a final nod of gratitude, Emma and Lucas watched as Eloria faded into the moonlight, leaving them alone in the stone circle. The glowing map remained, a beacon of hope and direction. We can do this, Emma said, her voice filled with confidence. Together, we'll find the well of memories and heal the garden. Lucas smiled, taking her hand. Together. As they set off towards the grove, the moonlight illuminating their path, they felt a renewed sense of purpose. The meeting with Eloria had reaffirmed their commitment to their quest. With each step, they drew closer to uncovering the secrets of the enchanted garden and fulfilling their destiny. The journey ahead would be fraught with challenges, but Emma and Lucas knew they had the strength and determination to face whatever lay ahead. The well of memories awaited, and with it, the key to restoring the garden and unlocking the ancient mysteries that had been hidden for so long. The path to the well of memories was both beautiful and treacherous. Emma and Lucas made their way through the enchanted garden, the glowing map from Eloria guiding their steps. The air was thick with the scent of flowers and the sounds of rustling leaves, creating an atmosphere both serene and charged with latent energy. As they ventured deeper into the forest, the landscape became more intricate. Trees with trunks wide enough to house small villages towered above them, their branches forming a dense canopy that filtered the moonlight into soft, dappled patches on the forest floor. The ground was covered in a thick layer of moss that seemed to hum with an almost musical vibration underfoot. "Look at this place," Lucas said in awe, his eyes wide as he took in the surroundings. "It's like we've stepped into another world." Emma nodded, equally captivated. Every part of this garden has its own magic. It's no wonder the well of memories is hidden here. We have to be vigilant, though. Eloria warned us about the trials. As they continued, the path began to narrow, the trees growing closer together. The whispers of the garden grew louder, filling the air with fragments of stories and forgotten secrets. It was as if the forest itself was alive, aware of their presence and guiding them towards their destination. After several hours of walking, they reached a dense thicket that seemed impenetrable. The glowing map indicated that the well of memories lay just beyond, but there was no visible way through. Emma frowned, examining the thick weave of branches and leaves. "There has to be a way," she said, determination in her voice. "The map shows the well is right on the other side." Lucas stepped forward, placing his hand on the thicket. He closed his eyes, trying to feel the magic of the garden. "Maybe we need to use the garden's magic, like we did with the runes. Let's focus our intentions." Emma joined him, placing her hand beside his. Together, they concentrated on the thicket, willing it to part and reveal the hidden path. Slowly, the branches began to shift, creaking and groaning as they moved. A narrow passageway appeared, just wide enough for them to pass through. "Great job," Emma said with a smile. "Let's go." They slipped through the passageway and emerged into a small, secluded grove. At its center was a crystal-clear pool, shimmering with an otherworldly light. The water seemed to radiate a soft, inviting glow, illuminating the surrounding trees and casting intricate patterns on the ground. "This must be the well of memories," Lucas said, his voice filled with reverence. "It's beautiful." Emma approached the pool, feeling a sense of peace wash over her. The water was perfectly still, reflecting the stars above like a mirror. She knelt by the edge, looking into the depths. Eloria said the well holds the past and present. We need to uncover its secrets to heal the garden. As they gazed into the water, images began to form on its surface. Scenes from the past played out like a vivid dream, the village they had seen in ruins, now bustling with life, Eldarion, the village elder, guiding his people with wisdom and compassion, and the garden, vibrant and full of magic, intertwined with the villagers' daily lives. But then, the images darkened. Shadows crept into the garden, corrupting its magic and bringing chaos. Emma and Lucas watched as Eldarion fought to protect his village, using his knowledge and the power of the garden. Despite his efforts, the corruption spread, and the villagers were forced to flee. "The shadows, they came from within," Emma murmured, understanding dawning. "Fear and greed tainted the garden's magic." Eldarion tried to stop it, but he couldn't do it alone. Lucas nodded, his eyes fixed on the images. "We need to find out what caused that corruption. The well shows us the past, but we need to understand the root of it." As they continued to watch, the scene shifted to the present. They saw themselves, standing by the well, determined to uncover the truth. The garden's magic responded to their presence, its whispers becoming clearer, more coherent. "Look," Lucas said, pointing to the water. "The well is showing us a path." The water revealed a new path, different from the one they had taken. It led deeper into the forest, to a place marked by a symbol they recognized from the tome they had found in the village, the Heart of Shadows. Emma took a deep breath, feeling the weight of their task. "We have to follow the new path. The Heart of Shadows holds the answers we need." With renewed determination, they left the well of memories and set off towards the Heart of Shadows. The forest seemed to shift around them, guiding their steps and testing their resolve. The whispers grew louder, filling the air with fragments of knowledge and warnings. As they walked, they encountered more trials, illusions that tested their perceptions, obstacles that required them to work together, and challenges that forced them to confront their deepest fears. Each trial brought them closer together, strengthening their bond and their understanding of the garden's magic. Finally, after what felt like days of walking and facing trials, they reached the entrance to the Heart of Shadows. It was a massive, ancient tree with a hollowed-out trunk, its bark dark and twisted. The entrance was framed by glowing runes, pulsing with dark energy. "This is it," Lucas said, his voice steady. "The source of the corruption." Emma nodded, her heart pounding with anticipation and fear. "We have to be ready for anything. Whatever caused the corruption is still here. But we've come this far, and we won't back down now." With a deep breath, they stepped into the hollowed tree, ready to face the final trial and uncover the secrets of the forest. The darkness inside was palpable, but they felt the garden's magic with them, guiding and protecting them. Together, they would confront the shadows and restore balance to the enchanted garden. The darkness inside the hollowed tree enveloped Emma and Lucas, the air thick with the scent of damp earth and ancient wood. The runes lining the entrance pulsed with dark energy, casting eerie shadows on the walls. With each step, they felt a growing sense of unease, but also a strong determination to uncover the truth and heal the garden. As they moved deeper into the tree, the passageway began to widen, revealing a small clearing bathed in a soft, ethereal light. In the center of the clearing stood a quaint, old cottage, its walls covered in ivy and moss. Smoke curled lazily from the chimney, and a warm, inviting glow emanated from the windows. "This is unexpected," Lucas said, his brow furrowing. "I didn't think we'd find something like this here." Emma nodded, her curiosity piqued. "It looks out of place, but maybe it's part of the garden's magic. We should check it out." They approached the cottage cautiously, their senses alert for any signs of danger. As they reached the door, it creaked open slowly, as if inviting them inside. Emma and Lucas exchanged a glance, then stepped over the threshold. The interior of the cottage was cozy and welcoming, with a fire crackling in the hearth and shelves lined with books and curiosities. The air was filled with the comforting aroma of herbs and spices. At a small wooden table in the center of the room sat an elderly woman, her eyes twinkling with wisdom and warmth. She looked up from the book she was reading and smiled. "Welcome, travelers," she said, her voice gentle and melodic. "I've been expecting you." Emma and Lucas hesitated, unsure of what to make of the woman. "Who are you?" Emma asked cautiously. "And how did you know we were coming?" The woman closed her book and stood, her movements graceful and deliberate. "I am Alara, the keeper of this cottage and guardian of the Heart of Shadows. I have been here for many years, waiting for the ones destined to heal the garden." Lucas stepped forward, his eyes filled with curiosity. "We've come to understand the corruption and restore balance. Can you help us?" Alara nodded, her expression serious. "Indeed, I can. But first, you must understand the nature of the corruption. It began long ago, when fear and greed tainted the garden's magic. The darkness you seek to dispel is not just an external force, it resides within the hearts of those who have come before you." Emma frowned, trying to piece together the information. "We saw visions of the past at the Well of Memories. Eldarion tried to stop the corruption, but he couldn't do it alone." "What caused it?" Alara gestured for them to sit at the table. "The corruption stemmed from a powerful artifact known as the Shadow Stone. It was created by those who sought to control the garden's magic for their own gain. Eldarion, the village elder, discovered the stone's existence and tried to destroy it, but its power was too great." Lucas leaned forward, his eyes intense. "Where is the Shadow Stone now? How can we destroy it?" "The Shadow Stone lies at the heart of the garden, deep within the Heart of Shadows," Alara explained. "It is protected by dark magic and powerful illusions. To reach it, you must confront your deepest fears and overcome the trials that await you." Emma and Lucas exchanged determined glances. "We're ready," Emma said firmly. "We'll face whatever trials come our way." Alara smiled, a look of approval in her eyes. "Very well. But before you go, take this." She reached into a drawer and pulled out a small, intricately carved wooden box. Opening it, she revealed 2 amulets, each glowing with a soft, blue light. "These amulets will protect you from the Shadow Stone's influence and guide you through the darkness." Emma and Lucas each took an amulet, feeling a surge of warmth and reassurance as they put them on. "Thank you, Alara," Lucas said. "We won't let the garden down." With the amulets around their necks, they left the cottage and continued their journey into the Heart of Shadows. The path grew darker and more treacherous, the shadows seeming to reach out and grasp at them. But the amulets glowed brightly, cutting through the darkness and guiding their steps. After what felt like hours of walking, they reached a large, open chamber deep within the heart of the tree. At its center stood a pedestal, and upon it rested the Shadow Stone. The stone pulsed with a dark, malevolent energy, casting ominous shadows on the walls. "This is it," Emma said, her voice steady. "The source of the corruption." Lucas nodded, his eyes fixed on the stone. "We need to destroy it." "But how?" As they approached the pedestal, the shadows around them began to shift and coalesce, forming dark, menacing figures. The air grew cold, and a sense of dread settled over them. "Stay close," Emma said, her voice filled with determination. "We can do this together." Drawing strength from each other and the amulets around their necks, Emma and Lucas faced the dark figures, ready to confront their deepest fears and overcome the trials that awaited them. The fate of the enchanted garden rested in their hands, and they were determined to succeed. The dark figures that surrounded Emma and Lucas were more than mere shadows. They were manifestations of their deepest fears and doubts, conjured by the malevolent power of the Shadow Stone. The air crackled with tension, and the weight of the task ahead pressed heavily upon them. Emma gripped her amulet, feeling its reassuring warmth. "We have to face these shadows head-on," she said, determination stealing her voice. "They're part of the trial." Lucas nodded, taking a deep breath. "We've come this far. We can't turn back now." As they stood side by side, the shadows began to close in, their forms shifting and writhing like living nightmares. Emma focused on the light of her amulet, letting its glow guide her thoughts. She remembered Alara's words, "The darkness resides within the hearts of those who have come before you." We need to confront our own fears, Emma realized aloud. The shadows are reflections of what's inside us. Lucas tightened his grip on his own amulet. "Then let's face them together." The first shadow stepped forward, taking the form of a younger Emma, filled with self-doubt and insecurity. It whispered harsh words, echoing old fears about failure and inadequacy. Emma felt a pang of recognition, but stood her ground. "I acknowledge you," she said firmly. "But you don't define me anymore." The shadow hesitated, then dissolved into the air, its dark energy dissipating. Emma felt a surge of strength, her resolve bolstered by the confrontation. Next, a shadow emerged before Lucas, morphing into a figure from his past, representing his fears of loss and guilt. The shadow's eyes bore into his, accusing him of mistakes long buried in his memory. Lucas faced the shadow, his voice steady. "I accept my past, but I won't let it control my future." The shadow wavered, then faded into nothingness. Lucas felt a weight lift from his shoulders, his determination renewed. As they confronted each shadow, the air around them began to lighten, the oppressive darkness giving way to a softer, more welcoming atmosphere. The amulets glowed brighter, their light cutting through the remaining shadows. Finally, the path to the pedestal was clear. The shadow stone pulsed ominously, its dark energy palpable. Emma and Lucas approached it cautiously, feeling the malevolent power emanating from the stone. "We need to destroy it," Emma said, her voice unwavering. "But how?" Lucas looked at the amulets, their light a stark contrast to the stone's darkness. Maybe the amulets can counteract its power. They were given to us to protect us from the stone's influence. Emma nodded, understanding. We need to combine their light and direct it at the stone. Standing on either side of the pedestal, they held their amulets aloft, focusing their thoughts on the task at hand. The amulet's glow intensified, merging into a single, brilliant beam of light that enveloped the shadow stone. The stone reacted violently, shaking and cracking as the light penetrated its dark core. The malevolent energy it had radiated began to weaken, its power waning under the combined force of the amulet's light. With a final, resounding crack, the shadow stone shattered into countless fragments, its dark energy dissipating into the air. The oppressive atmosphere lifted, replaced by a sense of peace and renewal. The shadows that had haunted the heart of shadows vanished completely, leaving the chamber bathed in a warm, golden light. "We did it," Lucas said, his voice filled with awe and relief. "The stone is destroyed." Emma smiled, feeling a profound sense of accomplishment. The garden can begin to heal now. As they stood in the now luminous chamber, the ground beneath their feet shimmered, revealing a hidden passage. The walls were lined with mirrors that reflected infinite versions of themselves, a symbolic reminder of the trials they had faced and the growth they had achieved. Emma and Lucas exchanged a glance, knowing that their journey was far from over. "Through the looking glass," Emma said, echoing the chapter's title. "We need to see what's on the other side." Hand in hand, they stepped into the passage, the mirrored walls guiding their way. The reflections showed not only their current selves but also glimpses of their future, visions of a restored garden, vibrant and alive, free from the corruption that had plagued it. Emerging from the passage, they found themselves in a breathtakingly beautiful part of the garden they had never seen before. Flowers bloomed in vibrant colors, the air was filled with the harmonious songs of birds, and the trees stood tall and proud, their leaves shimmering in the sunlight. In the center of this paradise stood Alara, her smile radiant with approval. "You have done well, seekers. The garden is beginning to heal, thanks to your courage and determination." Emma and Lucas bowed their heads in gratitude. "Thank you, Alara," Emma said. "But our journey isn't over yet, is it?" Alara shook her head, her expression serene. "No, dear ones. There are still secrets to uncover and truths to reveal. But you have proven your worth. Trust in yourselves and in each other, and the garden will guide you." With renewed purpose, Emma and Lucas set off towards the next chapter of their journey, their hearts filled with hope and determination. The path ahead was uncertain, but they knew they had the strength and the bond to face whatever challenges lay before them. The enchanted garden, once shrouded in darkness, was beginning to shine once more, and they were determined to see it fully restored. The newfound beauty of the enchanted garden filled Emma and Lucas with a sense of hope and wonder. The vibrant flowers, the harmonious birdsong, and the shimmering trees created an atmosphere of peace and renewal. Elara, the wise and serene guardian, stood before them, her presence a comforting reminder of the garden's enduring magic. As they approached her, Elara gestured for them to sit on a nearby stone bench, adorned with delicate carvings of vines and blossoms. "You have done well, seekers," she said, her voice gentle yet powerful. "The Shadow Stone's destruction has begun the healing process, but there is still much to understand and uncover." Emma and Lucas nodded, their curiosity piqued. "We are ready to learn," Emma said earnestly. "Tell us about the garden's history and the corruption that plagued it." Elara smiled, her eyes reflecting the light of the garden. "Very well. It is time you learned the true history of the enchanted garden and the guardians who have protected it." She began her tale, her voice weaving a tapestry of history and magic. "Long ago, this garden was a place of harmony and balance, nurtured by the magic of the land and the hearts of those who lived here. The village, now in ruins, was once a thriving community that worked in concert with the garden's magic. Eldarian, the wise village elder, was one of the first guardians, chosen by the garden itself to protect and maintain its harmony." Emma and Lucas listened intently, picturing the vibrant past Elara described. "Eldarian was a powerful and compassionate leader," Elara continued. "He and the villagers lived in harmony with the garden, drawing strength and wisdom from its magic. However, as time passed, a group of villagers grew envious of Eldarian's power and sought to harness the garden's magic for their own purposes." Elara's expression darkened, and her voice took on a somber tone. "These individuals created the Shadow Stone, a powerful artifact capable of manipulating the garden's magic. Their greed and ambition tainted the stone, and through it, the garden itself. Eldarian fought valiantly to protect the garden, but the corruption spread, driven by the darkness within the hearts of those who sought power." Lucas leaned forward, his brow furrowed. "What happened to Eldarian and the villagers?" "Eldarian's efforts to destroy the Shadow Stone ultimately failed," Elara explained. "The village fell into ruin, and the corruption took hold. Eldarian, heartbroken and weakened, retreated into the heart of the garden, where he became one with its magic, watching over it and waiting for the day when the garden could be healed." Emma felt a pang of sadness for Eldarian and the villagers. "And the guardians? How did they continue to protect the garden?" "Throughout the ages, the garden chose new guardians," Elara said. "Individuals who possessed the strength and purity of heart to protect it. Each guardian added their own wisdom and power to the garden's magic, keeping its spirit alive even in the darkest times." Elara paused, her eyes meeting Emma's and Lucas's with a deep, penetrating gaze. "You, too, have been chosen by the garden. Your journey is not only to heal the garden, but to become its new guardians. The trials you have faced and the truths you have uncovered are part of this sacred responsibility." Emma and Lucas exchanged a glance, the weight of Elara's words sinking in. They had felt the garden's magic guiding them, but this revelation added a new layer of significance to their quest. What must we do to fulfill this role? Lucas asked, determination in his voice. Elara smiled, a look of pride in her eyes. To become the garden's guardians, you must continue to uncover its secrets and restore its balance. Your bond, your courage, and your willingness to face the darkness within and without are key. The garden will guide you, as it has done so far. Emma nodded, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. We won't let the garden down. We'll do whatever it takes to protect and heal it. Elara stood, her form glowing with the garden's light. I have no doubt that you will succeed. Your journey will be challenging, but remember that you are not alone. The garden's magic is with you, and so is Eldarian's spirit. With Elara's blessing, Emma and Lucas set off once more, their hearts filled with determination and hope. They walked through the now luminous garden, the path ahead illuminated by the soft, ethereal light. They knew that their journey was far from over, but they felt ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. As they ventured deeper into the garden, they encountered more remnants of its past, ancient structures hidden beneath the foliage, forgotten relics imbued with magic, and whispers of long-lost knowledge. Each discovery brought them closer to understanding the garden's true nature and the role they were destined to play. Their bond grew stronger with each step, their resolve unwavering. They knew that the path to becoming true guardians of the garden would be fraught with trials and revelations, but they were ready to face them together. The enchanted garden, once shrouded in darkness and corruption, was beginning to shine with renewed life and magic. And with Emma and Lucas as its new guardians, its future was filled with hope and promise. The garden's magic seemed to hum with anticipation as Emma and Lucas ventured further, guided by the light of their amulets and the wisdom imparted by Elara. The path before them was illuminated by soft, ethereal light, casting gentle shadows that danced with the whisper of forgotten tales. They knew they were approaching a place where the past and present intertwined, a place where they would uncover more about the garden's history and their role as its new guardians. As they walked, the surroundings began to change. The vibrant flora gave way to ancient stone structures, their surfaces covered in intricate carvings and symbols. It was clear that this part of the garden had once been a thriving hub of activity, now long forgotten and reclaimed by nature. Look at these carvings, Lucas said, his voice filled with awe. They tell a story. Emma traced her fingers along the weathered stone, feeling a connection to the past. It's the story of Eldarian and the first guardians, she said, recognizing the symbols from the tome they had found in the village. We need to understand their journey to complete our own. As they continued, they reached a grand archway, partially hidden by vines. Beyond it lay a courtyard, its center dominated by a large, ancient tree. The tree's branches stretched out like arms, and its roots twisted and coiled, merging with the stone beneath it. It emanated a powerful, ancient energy, drawing them closer. This tree must be significant, Emma said, her voice reverent. It's connected to the heart of the garden. Lucas nodded. Let's see what it reveals. They approached the tree, and as they touched its bark, a wave of energy surged through them. Visions from the past flooded their minds, vivid and real. They saw the garden as it once was, vibrant and full of life, with villagers tending to its needs and drawing strength from its magic. In the midst of the vision, Aldarion appeared, his presence strong and commanding. He was surrounded by a group of guardians, their faces determined and filled with purpose. They worked together to protect the garden, using their combined strength and wisdom to maintain its balance. But then, the vision darkened. They saw the creation of the Shadow Stone, its malevolent energy spreading like a disease. The guardians fought valiantly, but the corruption took hold, and the garden began to wither. Aldarion's face, once full of hope, now bore the weight of despair and sorrow. "We need to understand what went wrong," Emma said, her voice filled with determination. "We need to learn from their mistakes." The vision shifted again, showing Aldarion in his final moments. He was in the very courtyard where they now stood, his hands pressed against the ancient tree. With his last strength, he imbued the tree with his essence, creating a link between himself and the garden that would endure through time. The vision faded, and Emma and Lucas found themselves back in the present, their hands still resting on the tree's bark. They exchanged a solemn glance, understanding the gravity of what they had witnessed. "Aldarion gave everything to protect the garden," Lucas said quietly. "We need to honor his sacrifice and finish what he started." Emma nodded, her resolve strengthened. "We need to find the remaining fragments of the Shadow Stone and ensure they can't harm the garden again." As they stepped back from the tree, they noticed a hidden passage at the base of the archway. The entrance was lined with more carvings, depicting a path that led deeper into the garden's heart. "This must be the way to the next fragment," Emma said. "We have to follow it." With a deep breath, they entered the passage, their amulets lighting the way. The path was narrow and winding, the walls closing in around them. It felt as if they were descending into the very heart of the garden, the air growing cooler and more charged with magic. After what felt like hours, they emerged into a vast underground chamber. The ceiling was adorned with glowing crystals that cast a soft, luminescent light over the entire space. In the center of the chamber was a pedestal, upon which rested a fragment of the Shadow Stone, its dark energy pulsating menacingly. "We need to destroy this fragment," Lucas said, his voice echoing in the chamber. "But how?" Emma studied the fragment, remembering Alara's guidance. "We need to use the amulets. Their light can neutralize the stone's dark energy." They approached the pedestal, their amulets glowing brighter as they neared the fragment. Holding their amulets aloft, they focused their combined energy on the stone. The light from the amulets intensified, enveloping the fragment in a radiant glow. The fragment shuddered and cracked, its dark energy struggling against the purifying light. With a final, resounding crack, the fragment shattered, its pieces disintegrating into dust that was carried away by a gentle breeze. A sense of profound relief and accomplishment washed over Emma and Lucas. They had taken another crucial step in their journey to heal the garden. As they stood in the chamber, the ground beneath them began to shimmer, revealing more hidden pathways and ancient symbols. It was clear that their journey was far from over, but they felt a renewed sense of purpose and determination. "We need to continue," Emma said, her voice filled with resolve. "There are more fragments to find and more secrets to uncover." Lucas nodded, his eyes shining with determination. "Together, we can do this." With their bond stronger than ever and their purpose clear, Emma and Lucas set off once more, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The echoes of the past guided their steps, and the light of their amulets illuminated the path to the future. The enchanted garden, once shrouded in darkness, was beginning to reclaim its true magic, and with each step, they drew closer to restoring its balance and harmony. Emma and Lucas emerged from the underground chamber, their hearts still pounding with the exhilaration of their victory over the shadow stone fragment. The ancient pathways before them shimmered with a newfound clarity, revealing a direction that seemed both inevitable and inviting. "The garden is guiding us," Lucas said, his voice filled with awe. "It's as if it knows exactly where we need to go next." Emma nodded, feeling the same profound connection. "Let's keep moving. We have more fragments to find and more secrets to uncover." As they continued their journey, the landscape around them began to change once again. The vibrant flora and ancient stone structures gave way to a more ethereal environment. The air grew warmer, filled with the fragrance of blooming flowers and the gentle hum of unseen energies. They soon arrived at a vast, open meadow. At the center of the meadow stood a large, crystalline structure that glowed with a soft, inner light. Surrounding the structure were statues of the past guardians, their faces serene and resolute. "This place feels different," Emma observed. "It's almost sacred." Lucas approached one of the statues, tracing the intricate carvings that adorned its base. "These are the guardians who came before us," he said. "Their spirits are here, watching over the garden." Emma walked to the crystalline structure and placed her hand against its smooth surface. Instantly, she felt a connection, as if the souls of the past guardians were reaching out to her, sharing their wisdom and strength. A soft, melodic voice filled the air, resonating from the crystal. "Welcome, seekers. You have shown great courage and determination. The path you walk is not an easy one, but you are not alone. We are with you." Emma and Lucas exchanged a glance, their eyes wide with wonder. "Who are you?" Lucas asked. "We are the guardians who have come before you," the voice continued. "Our spirits are bound to the garden, and we have watched over it for generations. We have seen its rise and fall, its moments of glory and its times of despair." Emma felt a sense of reverence and awe. "What do we need to do to heal the garden and become its new guardians?" "To heal the garden, You must find and destroy all the fragments of the shadow stone, the voice explained. Each fragment holds a piece of the corruption that once tainted this land. Only by eliminating them can the garden's magic be fully restored. Lucas stepped closer to the crystal. We've destroyed one fragment. How many more are there? 3 fragments remain, the voice replied. They are hidden in places where the garden's magic is strongest. You must seek them out and use your amulets to purify the darkness within. Emma nodded, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. We will find them and restore the garden. But we also want to understand its history and the role of the guardians. The crystal glowed brighter, and the voice took on a more personal tone. The history of the garden is intertwined with the history of the guardians. Each guardian has faced their own trials, and each has added their own strength to the garden's magic. You are part of this legacy now. As the voice spoke, the statues around them seemed to come to life, their eyes glowing with a gentle light. Emma and Lucas felt a surge of energy, as if the spirits of the guardians were lending them their strength and wisdom. We will guide you on your journey, the voice said. But remember, the true power lies within you. Trust in your bond, in your courage, and in the magic of the garden. With these words, the light of the crystal began to fade, leaving Emma and Lucas standing in the meadow, their hearts filled with a profound sense of purpose. We have a lot of work to do, Lucas said, his voice determined. But with the guardian's guidance, I know we can do it. Emma nodded, her resolve unwavering. Let's find the next fragment. They continued their journey, the landscape shifting once more as they moved deeper into the garden. The air grew cooler, and the ground beneath their feet felt more solid and ancient. They knew they were approaching another place of power, a place where the next fragment of the shadow stone awaited them. As they walked, they encountered more remnants of the garden's past, ancient ruins, overgrown with vines and moss, and relics that whispered of forgotten stories. Each discovery added to their understanding of the garden's history and the role they were destined to play. Their path led them to a dense forest, its trees towering high above them, their leaves shimmering with a silvery light. The forest felt alive, its magic palpable and strong. This must be where the next fragment is hidden, Emma said, her voice hushed with reverence. Lucas nodded, his eyes scanning the forest. Let's find it and destroy it. As they ventured deeper into the forest, they felt the presence of the garden's magic growing stronger, guiding them toward their goal. They knew that the journey ahead would be challenging, but they were ready to face whatever trials awaited them. With the spirits of the past guardians watching over them and the strength of their bond, Emma and Lucas moved forward, determined to heal the enchanted garden and fulfill their destiny as its new guardians. The forest was a place of ethereal beauty and deep magic. Silver leaves shimmered with a light of their own, and the air was filled with the soft murmurs of ancient trees. Emma and Lucas moved cautiously, sensing the powerful enchantments woven into the very fabric of the woods. This forest feels alive, Lucas whispered, his eyes wide with awe. It's like it has a will of its own. Emma nodded, feeling the same profound connection. The garden's magic is strong here. We must be getting close to the next fragment. As they ventured deeper, they began to notice subtle changes in the environment. The path became less defined, and strange, almost musical whispers filled the air. Emma and Lucas exchanged a glance, knowing they were nearing something significant. Suddenly, the forest opened up into a clearing, revealing a stunningly beautiful scene. In the center of the clearing stood a pedestal, and upon it rested another fragment of the shadow stone. The fragment pulsed with a dark, malevolent energy, in stark contrast to the serene beauty surrounding it. But it was not the fragment that first caught their attention. Surrounding the pedestal were visions, like shimmering mirages, showing each of them their deepest desires. Emma saw herself in a thriving garden, healed and vibrant, with her parents by her side, alive and well. Lucas saw himself as a renowned architect, his buildings celebrated for their beauty and innovation, with his lost loved ones applauding his success. These visions, Emma whispered, her voice filled with emotion. They're showing us what we want most. Lucas nodded, his eyes fixed on the image of his family. The heart's desire. It's a test, Emma. We can't let it distract us. As they approached the pedestal, the visions became more vivid and enticing. The whispers grew louder, promising fulfillment of their deepest dreams if they would only reach out and accept the fragment's power. Emma felt a strong pull towards her vision, the longing for her family almost overwhelming. She took a deep breath, grounding herself in the reality of their mission. We can't give in to these desires. They're illusions meant to distract us. Lucas tore his eyes away from his vision, his face set with determination. You're right. We have to destroy the fragment. They raised their amulets, their light shining brightly and cutting through the enchantment surrounding them. The visions wavered, then dissolved, revealing the true nature of the dark magic at play. As the light from their amulets intensified, the fragment on the pedestal began to crack and shudder. The malevolent energy fought back, trying to maintain its hold, but the combined power of Emma and Lucas was too strong. With a final, resounding crack, the fragment shattered into dust, its dark energy dissipating into the air. The clearing seemed to sigh with relief, the oppressive atmosphere lifting. The whispers faded, replaced by a profound sense of peace and clarity. We did it, Lucas said, his voice filled with triumph and relief. Another fragment destroyed. Emma nodded, her heart swelling with hope. The garden is one step closer to being healed. As they stood in the clearing, the ground beneath their feet began to shimmer, revealing another hidden path. This one seemed to glow with a soft, inviting light, beckoning them forward. This must be the way to the next fragment, Emma said, her voice filled with determination. Let's keep going. They followed the new path, their spirits lifted by their recent victory. The forest seemed to part before them, guiding their way with an almost sentient awareness. As they walked, they talked about their visions, sharing their deepest desires and fears. "I saw my family," Emma admitted, her voice soft. "Alive and well, with the garden thriving around us." Lucas nodded, his expression thoughtful. "I saw my loved ones too. It was tempting, but I knew it wasn't real." Their bond strengthened by their shared experiences, they pressed on, determined to see their mission through. The path led them deeper into the heart of the garden, where the magic was strongest and the secrets most profound. After some time, they reached another clearing, this one dominated by an ancient, towering tree. Its branches stretched high into the sky, and its roots delved deep into the earth, radiating an aura of immense power. "This tree," Emma said, her voice filled with reverence. "It feels like the heart of the garden." Lucas approached the tree, his hand resting gently on its trunk. "This is where the garden's magic is concentrated. We must be getting close to the final fragments." As they stood before the ancient tree, they felt a presence, a spirit of the garden itself, watching over them. The air around them shimmered with energy, and they knew they were about to face their greatest challenge yet. But with their bond strong and their determination unwavering, they felt ready to face whatever trials lay ahead. The journey of souls continued, and Emma and Lucas were determined to fulfill their destiny and restore the enchanted garden to its former glory. The ancient tree's presence lingered in their minds as Emma and Lucas continued along the glowing path. They felt a sense of purpose, knowing that their journey was leading them closer to restoring the garden's magic. The path began to descend, and soon they found themselves standing at the edge of a breathtaking valley. The Valley of Dreams stretched out before them, an expanse of lush meadows dotted with vibrant flowers and sparkling streams. The air was thick with the scent of blooming flora, and a gentle mist floated above the ground, adding an ethereal quality to the landscape. "This place is beautiful," Emma whispered, her eyes wide with wonder. "It feels like a dream." Lucas nodded, taking in the serene beauty around them. "But we must stay vigilant. There's powerful magic here, and it could be another test." They stepped into the valley, the mist swirling around their feet. As they walked, they noticed the landscape shifting subtly, as if responding to their presence. The flowers seemed to lean toward them, and the streams glistened with an otherworldly light. After a while, they came across a series of ancient stone pillars arranged in a circle. In the center of the circle stood another pedestal, and on it rested a fragment of the shadow stone. This fragment, unlike the others, was surrounded by a soft, pulsating glow, as if the valley's magic was trying to contain its dark energy. "We've found the next fragment," Emma said, her voice steady. "But something feels different about this one." Lucas approached the pedestal cautiously, his eyes scanning the surroundings. "The valley's magic is strong here. It's almost as if it's trying to protect itself from the fragment's corruption." As they neared the pedestal, the mist thickened, and the air grew heavy with enchantment. Suddenly, the valley around them shifted, and they found themselves standing in a different version of the valley, one that was dark and twisted, filled with shadows and eerie whispers. "Another illusion," Lucas said, gripping his amulet. "We have to break through it." Emma raised her amulet, its light cutting through the darkness. "Stay close to me. We need to find a way to reach the fragment." The shadows around them twisted and writhed, forming vague shapes that seemed to whisper their deepest fears and insecurities. The whispers grew louder, trying to sow doubt and confusion in their minds. Emma and Lucas pressed forward, their amulets shining brightly. They focused on their bond and their mission, pushing aside the dark whispers that sought to weaken their resolve. Finally, they reached the pedestal. The fragment's dark energy pulsed menacingly, but the glow surrounding it seemed to fight back, trying to contain its malevolence. "We need to purify it," Lucas said, raising his amulet. "Together." Emma nodded, holding her amulet aloft. As they focused their combined energy on the fragment, the light from their amulets intensified, enveloping the fragment in a brilliant glow. The fragment shuddered and cracked, its dark energy struggling against the purifying light. With a final, resounding crack, the fragment shattered, its pieces disintegrating into dust that was carried away by the valley's gentle breeze. The illusion around them dissipated, and they found themselves back in the serene, dreamlike valley. The air was filled with a sense of relief and triumph, as if the valley itself was grateful for their victory. "We did it," Emma said, her voice filled with a mix of exhaustion and elation. "Another fragment destroyed." Lucas smiled, feeling the weight of their accomplishment. One step closer to healing the garden. As they stood in the valley, the ground beneath their feet began to shimmer once more, revealing a new path leading out of the valley. This path was lined with ancient trees whose branches seemed to reach out in welcome, their leaves whispering words of encouragement. "This must be the way to the next fragment," Emma said, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. "Let's keep going." They followed the new path, the beauty of the Valley of Dreams fading into the background as they ventured deeper into the garden. The landscape began to change again, becoming more rugged and wild. They knew that their journey was far from over, but they felt more determined than ever to see it through. As they walked, they talked about the challenges they had faced and the visions they had seen. They shared their hopes and fears, their bond growing stronger with each step. "The garden is counting on us," Lucas said, his voice filled with resolve. "We have to keep moving forward, no matter what." Emma nodded, her eyes shining with determination. "We will." Together. With their hearts united and their spirits unyielding, Emma and Lucas pressed on, ready to face whatever trials lay ahead. The enchanted garden, with its secrets and magic, awaited their next move, and they were determined to uncover every mystery and heal its wounded heart. The path from the Valley of Dreams led Emma and Lucas into a dense, ancient forest. The trees here were towering and gnarled, their branches intertwining to form a natural canopy that dimmed the sunlight. The air was cool and filled with the earthy scent of moss and decaying leaves. "This place feels different," Lucas said, his voice echoing softly through the trees. "It's as if the forest itself is alive and aware of our presence." Emma nodded, feeling the weight of the forest's gaze. "This is where the next fragment lies. We must be prepared for whatever trials it presents." As they ventured deeper into the forest, the path became narrower and more treacherous. The trees seemed to close in around them, their branches forming barriers that forced them to take a winding, uncertain route. Despite the obstacles, they pressed on, guided by the light of their amulets and their unwavering determination. Suddenly, they came upon a clearing. In the center stood a massive stone monolith, its surface covered in ancient runes and symbols. At its base lay another fragment of the shadow stone, pulsating with dark energy. Surrounding the monolith were 4 smaller stones, each inscribed with a different symbol. "This is it," Emma said, her voice steady. "The next fragment." Lucas approached the monolith, his eyes scanning the runes. "These symbols, they represent different trials. We must complete them to purify the fragment." As he spoke, the symbols on the smaller stones began to glow, each one emanating a different colored light. The air around them shimmered, and they felt a powerful magic take hold, pulling them into a series of visions. The first vision enveloped them in a whirlwind of fire. They found themselves standing in a blazing inferno, the heat intense and oppressive. "This is a trial of courage," Emma realized. "We must face our fears." Lucas nodded, his resolve firm. "We have to stay calm and find a way through." They moved forward, the flames parting before them as they focused on their goal. The fire seemed to respond to their determination, receding and revealing a path. As they walked, the heat diminished, and the vision faded, returning them to the clearing. The second symbol glowed, and they were plunged into darkness. This time, they stood in a void, with no sense of direction or time. "A trial of trust," Lucas said, reaching for Emma's hand. "We have to trust each other and our instincts." Emma gripped his hand tightly, their amulets providing a faint light. "We'll get through this together." They moved forward, trusting their bond to guide them. The darkness seemed endless, but their faith in each other never wavered. Slowly, the darkness lifted, and they were back in the clearing. The third symbol illuminated, and they were surrounded by a storm of emotions. They felt overwhelming sadness, anger, and despair, each wave threatening to drown them. "A trial of the heart," Emma said, tears streaming down her face. "We must confront our inner turmoil." Lucas closed his eyes, allowing himself to feel the emotions without being consumed by them. "We need to accept these feelings and let them pass." They stood together, supporting each other as they faced their deepest emotions. Gradually, the storm calmed, and they returned to the clearing, their hearts lighter. The final symbol glowed, and they found themselves in a serene landscape. They stood before a mirror-like lake, its surface perfectly still. As they looked into the water, they saw their reflections and the essence of their souls. A trial of self-awareness, Lucas said. We must understand and accept ourselves. Emma gazed into the lake, seeing her strengths and weaknesses reflected back at her. This is about knowing who we are and embracing it. They stood together, reflecting on their journey and the people they had become. As they accepted their true selves, the lake shimmered, and the vision faded. Back in the clearing, the runes on the monolith glowed brightly, and the fragment of the shadow stone began to tremble. The trials had tested their spirits and strengthened their bond. They raised their amulets, channeling their combined energy toward the fragment. The light from their amulets enveloped the fragment, purifying its dark energy. With a final, resounding crack, the fragment shattered, its pieces disintegrating into dust that was carried away by a gentle breeze. We did it, Emma said, her voice filled with relief and triumph. Another fragment destroyed. Lucas smiled, feeling a sense of accomplishment. We're one step closer to healing the garden. As they stood in the clearing, the ground beneath them began to shimmer, revealing a new path leading out of the forest. This path was lined with flowers that seemed to bloom in response to their victory, their petals glowing with a soft, welcoming light. This must be the way to the final fragments, Emma said, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. Let's keep going. They followed the new path, their spirits high and their bond stronger than ever. The trials of the spirit had tested them, but they had emerged victorious, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. With each step, they felt the garden's magic growing stronger, guiding them toward their ultimate goal. The enchanted garden, with its secrets and power, awaited their final triumph, and Emma and Lucas were determined to see it through to the end. The path from the clearing wound through the dense forest, gradually ascending towards a high ridge that overlooked the entire garden. The air grew crisper and cooler as Emma and Lucas climbed, their steps purposeful and filled with a sense of impending culmination. This path feels different, Lucas remarked, his breath visible in the cool air. It's like it's leading us to the heart of everything. Emma nodded, her eyes fixed on the horizon. We're nearing the end of our journey. The final fragments must be close. As they reached the top of the ridge, the forest opened up to reveal a breathtaking vista. Before them lay a vast expanse of the garden, its beauty marred by patches of darkness where the fragments of the shadow stone had tainted the land. In the distance, a towering structure stood at the garden's center, a grand temple, ancient and imposing, its spires reaching towards the sky. The temple, Emma whispered, her eyes wide with awe. That's where we need to go. Lucas nodded, feeling the weight of their journey settling on his shoulders. The final revelation awaits us there. Let's go. They descended the ridge and made their way towards the temple. The closer they got, the more they felt the garden's magic intensify. The air hummed with energy, and the ground beneath their feet seemed to pulse with life. As they approached the temple, they noticed intricate carvings on its walls, depicting the history of the garden and the guardians who had protected it through the ages. Emma and Lucas paused to study the carvings, feeling a deep connection to the legacy they were becoming a part of. "We're not just here to destroy the fragments," Emma realized. "We're here to understand the garden's true nature and our role as its guardians." Lucas placed a hand on the temple door, feeling its ancient power. "Let's find out what the final revelation is." They pushed open the heavy doors and stepped into the temple's grand hall. The air inside was cool and filled with the faint scent of incense. At the center of the hall stood a large, circular platform, surrounded by pillars inscribed with runes. On the platform lay the final fragments of the shadow stone, their dark energy contained within a shimmering barrier of light. Standing before the platform was an ethereal figure, cloaked in light. The figure turned to face them, and Emma and Lucas felt a profound sense of recognition. "Welcome, Emma and Lucas," the figure said, its voice gentle and wise. "I am the spirit of the garden, the essence of its magic and the keeper of its secrets." Emma and Lucas approached the figure, their hearts pounding with anticipation. "We've come to destroy the final fragments and restore the garden," Emma said, her voice filled with determination. The spirit nodded, its light shifting to reveal a more intricate form. "You have done well to reach this point. But before you can complete your mission, you must understand the true nature of the garden and the role of its guardians." The spirit gestured towards the platform, and the runes on the pillars began to glow, casting intricate patterns of light across the hall. The garden is not just a place of magic and beauty. It is a reflection of the hearts and souls of its guardians. Its strength comes from their courage, wisdom, and love. As the spirit spoke, visions filled the hall, showing the history of the garden and its guardians. Emma and Lucas saw scenes of triumph and despair, moments of great sacrifice and profound joy. They saw themselves among these guardians, their bond and determination shining brightly. "The shadow stone was created from the darkness within us all," the spirit continued. "It seeks to corrupt and divide, to turn strength into weakness. To truly destroy its fragments, you must confront the darkness within yourselves and transform it into light." Emma and Lucas exchanged a glance, understanding dawning in their eyes. "We have to face our own fears and insecurities," Lucas said. "Only then can we purify the garden." The spirit nodded. "Place your amulets on the platform and let your hearts guide you." They stepped forward, placing their amulets on the platform beside the fragments. As they did, a brilliant light enveloped them, and they were transported into a realm of pure magic. In this realm, they found themselves standing in front of mirrors that reflected not just their physical forms, but their inner selves. They saw their fears, doubts, and past mistakes laid bare. Emma took a deep breath, facing her reflection. She saw her fear of losing those she loved, her doubts about her own strength, and the pain of her past losses. "I accept these parts of myself," she said, her voice steady. They are part of who I am, but they do not define me. As she spoke, her reflection began to glow, transforming her fears into a radiant light. Lucas faced his own reflection, seeing his fear of failure, his insecurities about his worth, and the weight of his unfulfilled dreams. I accept my flaws and my past, he said, his voice filled with resolve. They have shaped me, but they do not limit me. His reflection too began to glow, and the light merged with Emma's, creating a powerful, unified force. The realm around them shimmered, and they were transported back to the temple hall. The final fragments of the shadow stone were now encased in a cocoon of light, their dark energy purged by the power of Emma and Lucas's acceptance and unity. You have done it, the spirit said, its voice filled with pride. The garden is healed, and its magic is restored. You are its true guardians, bound by your courage, wisdom, and love. The light from the platform intensified, and the fragments disintegrated into dust, carried away by a gentle breeze. The runes on the pillars glowed brightly, and the entire temple seemed to come alive with the garden's renewed energy. Emma and Lucas felt a profound sense of peace and fulfillment. They had faced their inner darkness and emerged stronger, ready to protect and nurture the garden for generations to come. As they stepped out of the temple, the garden around them flourished with vibrant life, the darkness banished and the magic restored. They stood hand in hand, ready to embrace their new roles as guardians of the enchanted garden, knowing that their journey had only just begun. Emma and Lucas stood outside the temple, basking in the rejuvenated energy of the garden. The air was crisp, the sky a brilliant blue, and the flowers bloomed with vibrant colors. Birds sang joyfully, and the entire landscape seemed to hum with newfound life. As they walked hand in hand through the now thriving garden, they felt a deep sense of accomplishment and peace. The trials they had faced had not only strengthened their bond, but had also prepared them for their roles as the garden's guardians. "We've come so far," Emma said, her voice filled with wonder. "But I can't shake the feeling that there's more to discover." Lucas nodded, his eyes scanning the horizon. The spirit mentioned understanding the true nature of the garden. Maybe there's one final revelation waiting for us. Their path led them to a secluded grove, where the air felt different, charged with a subtle, mystical energy. In the center of the grove stood an ancient archway, its stone surface covered in intricate carvings that glowed softly. "This must be the light beyond the veil," Emma whispered, recalling the spirit's words. As they approached the archway, the carvings began to glow brighter, and a shimmering veil of light appeared within the arch. The light was inviting, promising further truths and deeper understanding. "Are you ready?" Lucas asked, his hand squeezing Emma's for reassurance. Emma took a deep breath, her eyes meeting Lucas's with determination. Together, they stepped through the archway, and the world around them transformed. They found themselves in a place that felt both familiar and otherworldly. It was as if they were inside the essence of the garden itself, surrounded by swirling colors and patterns of pure magic. In the center of this ethereal space stood the spirit of the garden, its form more defined and radiant than before. The spirit smiled warmly, its presence filling them with a profound sense of peace and belonging. "Welcome, Emma and Lucas," the spirit said. "You have restored the garden, but there is one final lesson you must learn." The spirit gestured, and the swirling colors coalesced into a vision of the garden's history. Emma and Lucas saw the first guardians, their struggles and triumphs, and the cycles of light and darkness that had shaped the garden through the ages. The garden is a reflection of the balance between light and darkness, the spirit explained. Its beauty and magic are born from the harmony of these opposing forces. As its guardians, your role is to maintain this balance, to nurture both the light and the shadow within yourselves and the garden. Emma and Lucas watched as the vision shifted, showing them their own journey, how their acceptance of their inner darkness and light had strengthened the garden's magic. The light beyond the veil represents understanding and acceptance, the spirit continued. It is the acknowledgement that both light and darkness are essential to growth and transformation. Emma felt a deep resonance with the spirit's words. So, our journey doesn't end here. It's a continuous process of maintaining balance and harmony. The spirit nodded. Yes, and in doing so, you will ensure the garden remains a place of wonder and magic for all who come after you. As the vision faded, Emma and Lucas found themselves back in the grove, the archway behind them. The air was still charged with the garden's magic, but now they felt a deeper connection to it, a profound understanding of their roles as guardians. "We have a lot to learn," Lucas said, a thoughtful expression on his face. "But we're ready for it." Emma smiled, her heart light. "Yes, and we'll face it together, just as we always have." They began their walk back through the garden, feeling the harmony they had helped restore. The creatures of the garden seemed to sense the change, approaching them with curiosity and trust. Flowers bloomed more brilliantly, and the entire landscape thrived with vibrant life. As they reached the heart of the garden, where the ancient tree stood tall and proud, they felt a surge of energy, a gift from the garden itself. Their amulets glowed brightly, now symbols of their eternal bond with the garden and each other. "Look," Emma said, pointing to the tree. Its branches had woven together to form a new archway, a living symbol of the garden's magic and the guardian's eternal connection to it. Lucas took Emma's hand, and they stepped through the archway, feeling a sense of renewal and purpose. They knew their journey as guardians was just beginning, and they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. With the garden flourishing around them and the light of understanding guiding their way, Emma and Lucas embraced their destiny. They were not just protectors of the garden's magic, they were its heart and soul, the keepers of the balance between light and darkness, ensuring the garden's beauty would endure for generations to come. As Emma and Lucas emerged from the grove, the garden seemed to welcome them with a renewed sense of vitality. The air was filled with the scent of blooming flowers and the sound of birdsong, each note harmonizing with the rhythm of the garden's magic. Their journey had brought them to a deeper understanding of their roles as guardians, and they felt a profound connection to the land they had vowed to protect. Their path led them to the base of the ancient tree, where the new archway formed by its branches stood as a living testament to their bond with the garden. Beyond the archway lay a shimmering bridge made of light and magic, stretching into the horizon. "The bridge to forever," Lucas murmured, his voice filled with awe. "It's like a pathway to eternity." Emma nodded, feeling a sense of destiny. "This must be the final step in our journey." The spirit said our role as guardians is to maintain balance and harmony. Maybe this bridge represents that eternal task. Hand in hand, they stepped onto the bridge. With each step, the light beneath their feet sparkled, creating ripples that spread out into the vast expanse around them. The bridge seemed to respond to their presence, guiding them toward a distant, radiant light. As they walked, memories of their journey together played out around them, visions of the challenges they had faced, the trials they had overcome, and the deep bond they had forged. Each vision was a reminder of their growth and the strength they had found in each other. At the bridge's midpoint, the spirit of the garden appeared before them, glowing with an ethereal light. "Emma and Lucas," it said, its voice resonating with warmth and wisdom, "you have come far. The garden thrives because of your courage and unity. Now, you stand at the threshold of forever, where your journey continues beyond time and space." Emma looked at the spirit, her heart full. "What lies beyond the bridge?" "The bridge to forever connects the past, present, and future," the spirit explained. "It is a symbol of your eternal duty as guardians. Beyond it, you will find a realm where the magic of the garden extends into new worlds, touching lives and inspiring wonder. Your roles will evolve, but the essence of your mission remains, to nurture balance and harmony." Lucas tightened his grip on Emma's hand, feeling the weight of their responsibility. "We're ready," he said, his voice steady. "We accept our roles and the journey that lies ahead." The spirit smiled, its light enveloping them in a comforting embrace. "Then step forward, and embrace the light beyond the bridge." With renewed determination, Emma and Lucas continued their walk. As they reached the end of the bridge, the radiant light grew brighter, enveloping them in a warm, all-encompassing glow. They felt a sense of peace and fulfillment, knowing they were exactly where they were meant to be. The light gradually dimmed, revealing a new landscape, one that was both familiar and wonderfully new. They stood at the edge of another garden, its beauty and magic echoing that of the one they had just saved, but with its own unique wonders. Creatures of all kinds roamed the landscape, each one a testament to the boundless creativity of the garden's magic. Flowers of every color imaginable bloomed in intricate patterns, and trees with shimmering leaves swayed gently in the breeze. The air was alive with the hum of magic, and the sky above was a canvas of ever-changing hues. "Welcome to the Evergarden," the spirit's voice resonated around them. "This is one of many realms connected by the bridge to forever. Here, your journey as guardians continues, and your influence will touch countless lives." Emma and Lucas exchanged a look filled with wonder and determination. They knew their journey was far from over, but they were ready to face whatever came next, together. As they stepped forward into the Evergarden, they felt the magic of the garden embracing them, guiding them towards new adventures and challenges. They were not just guardians of a single garden, but of a network of enchanted realms, each one a testament to the balance of light and darkness. With hearts full of hope and a sense of purpose, Emma and Lucas began their new journey, knowing that as long as they were together, they could overcome any challenge and protect the magic that connected all worlds. The bridge to forever had shown them that their roles as guardians were eternal, and they were ready to embrace their destiny with open hearts and unwavering spirits. As Emma and Lucas stepped deeper into the Evergarden, they felt the profound magic of the realm wrapping around them like a comforting blanket. The Evergarden was a place of wonder and serenity, filled with sights and sounds that felt both familiar and astonishingly new. They explored the realm, meeting creatures of unimaginable beauty and learning about the interconnectedness of all magical realms. Their journey in the Evergarden reinforced their understanding of balance and harmony, and they grew even closer as they worked together to nurture and protect this new realm. The spirit of the garden often appeared to guide them, sharing wisdom and insights that deepened their bond with the magic they had sworn to safeguard. One day, as they wandered through a grove of luminous trees, the spirit appeared before them with a gentle smile. "Emma and Lucas, your time here has strengthened the Evergarden, and your bond as guardians is unbreakable. It is time for you to return to the garden you first saved, to share your newfound wisdom and to ensure its continued flourishing." Emma and Lucas exchanged a look of understanding. They had learned so much, and they knew their journey was a continuous cycle of learning and teaching. "We're ready," Emma said, her voice filled with certainty. The spirit raised its arms, and the air around them shimmered with a soft, golden light. "Step through the light, and you will find yourselves back in the garden where your journey began. Remember, the bridge to forever connects all realms. You can return here whenever you need guidance or solace." Hand in hand, Emma and Lucas stepped into the light. They felt a gentle pull, and the world around them dissolved into a cascade of colors and sensations. When the light faded, they found themselves standing in the heart of their original garden, near the ancient tree that had first marked their journey. The garden was more vibrant and alive than ever. The flowers were in full bloom, and the air was filled with the joyous songs of birds. The garden's magic, now fully restored, pulsed with a steady, life-affirming rhythm. Word of their return spread quickly, and soon the garden's inhabitants, both human and magical, gathered to welcome them back. Friends and allies they had made along their journey approached with smiles and open arms, eager to hear about their adventures in the Evergarden. "Emma, Lucas," called a familiar voice. It was Alara, the wise sage who had first guided them. "You've returned just in time. The garden has been flourishing, but it's clear your presence brings a special kind of magic." Emma hugged Alara tightly. "We've learned so much, and we're excited to share our knowledge. The garden is more than a place, it's a living entity that connects us all." Lucas nodded, looking around at the gathered crowd. We must continue to protect this balance and teach others how to nurture it. The magic of the garden depends on all of us. Over the following days, Emma and Lucas shared their experiences from the Evergarden. They held gatherings where they taught the principles of balance and harmony, helping others understand the importance of embracing both light and darkness. The garden thrived under their guidance, becoming a beacon of hope and magic. One evening, as the sun set and the sky was painted with hues of orange and pink, Emma and Lucas walked hand in hand to their favorite spot by the ancient tree. They sat beneath its sprawling branches, feeling the energy of the garden flowing through them. "We've come so far," Emma said, resting her head on Lucas's shoulder. "And yet, it feels like we've just begun." Lucas smiled, his eyes reflecting the colors of the sunset. "Every ending is a new beginning. As long as we're together, we can face whatever comes next." The ancient tree, sensing their unity and resolve, rustled its leaves in a gentle, approving whisper. The garden around them glowed softly, as if acknowledging their return and the continuation of their journey. Emma and Lucas knew their roles as guardians were eternal, but they also knew they had found their true home, not just in the garden, but in each other. With hearts full of hope and a future filled with endless possibilities, they embraced the present moment, ready for whatever adventures lay ahead. As the first stars appeared in the twilight sky, they closed their eyes and let the magic of the garden wash over them, knowing they were exactly where they were meant to be. Together, they had found their homecoming, and the promise of forever stretched out before them, bright and full of wonder.